What if you could help companies cut their energy consumption and their carbon footprint by up to 30% and build a high impact career at the same time? Well, if you're just starting out on your journey as an energy advisor, facilities manager, or sustainability consultant, and if you're curious about energy audit training, we'll actually prepare you for real world investment grade audits, then you've come to the right place. I'm Bruce Rouse, and in this video, I'm going to break down what's involved in energy audit training. We're going to look at some core concepts and some common challenges, and then we're going to look at certification pathways so that after this, you'll know how to launch a successful and credible career that's in demand worldwide by undertaking training that will kick off that career. So how do you become a certified energy auditor? Let's look at the pathways. Well, you can start by just researching for certification programs and look for offerings that are comprehensive and have some industry recognition, such as the Investment Grade Energy Auditor certification, the IGA certification, which I'm going to talk about later and I'm very proud of. Go beyond just looking at short intro workshops that run for a few days, because honestly, you'll learn a bit, but there's actually a lot to know, a lot more to know than you realize. Some of the core modules that should be covered should be the fundamentals of energy. You really need to understand energy transfer and understand the basics of energy. Should have an understanding of energy management. You need to know building and industrial systems, such as HVAC, lighting, industrial systems, hot water. You should know an energy audit methodology, how to use tools, how to produce effective reports. Engaging with energy users is another really important thing that you should learn. So as a pathway, I suggest that you should probably start with an online or on-demand course, maybe a blended course that offers both theory and field examples, and then progresses to a recognised certification. You can search for Find Energy Auditor Training near me or Energy Auditor course online using recognised directories and professional bodies, but also look for how comprehensive the training is. So certification outcomes, it's really easy for any organisation. Career boosting, game-changing training. Have a look at the Investment Grade Energy Auditor certification. A lot of effort has gone into preparing the certification, and it's trying to address what I see as the key flaw in a lot of energy auditor training out there, in that it's just not comprehensive enough and the certification is not rigorous enough. This is not an easy program. It takes a lot of time and it's difficult to pass, but you do get supported along the way and you get extensive feedback when you don't do that well. You can come back and try again and hopefully you've learnt from your mistakes. Below this video, you'll find links to where you can learn more about the training and even take some free lessons. So once you've been through some rigorous training, and hopefully that training has really accelerated your career by condensing experience into a compact, well-structured format, you should then be able to deliver audits that stand up to investor scrutiny, that the costs and benefits are more or less as you expected, that the savings identified are significant. And this should drive organisation improvements when implemented that are also persuasive. Consider taking this training to elevate your professional competence to the level that we now need, not just a mediocre level, but to a better level. It's kind of view this as a starting point for improvement, because there's an awful lot to learn and things are going to keep on evolving. But be able to unlock those doors and take those first steps to building good credibility for yourself as an energy auditor who really knows their stuff and can be trusted for delivering investment grade energy audits, which is really important for our common future.